Okay, this video is about wind. Basically, a line's going to go across the screen, which you're not going to be able to see, it'll be invisible, and it's going to hit my character, and it's going to make him move to the left while trying to move to the right, and the trees in the background will also animate as well. And I'll show you one other thing that I've already talked about in my other previous videos, and that's about how to have one image for your character but have him go in two different directions with the face, going left or going right. Depending on which way you're going, the face is going to go that direction. So I'll show you real quick on that again. Let's get started. So let me show you the game real quick, and then I'll explain. Alright, see how the wind's blowing the trees and it's pushing my character, and then the rain in the background is also at an angle. So I'm moving forward, jump in there, go that direction as well. That's how he's different faced. And then in the next scene, the wind has stopped and it's raining completely straight down. And then able to jump fine, back and forth, the face going a different direction there, and then the wind picks up again and it's blowing my character. And it repeats. Then I can't move any further. I stopped him from moving anymore. Alright, so Alright, so a couple things here I'm going to show you here. The first one real quick, I'm going to go over this quick because I've talked about this in previous videos. But in the image of Object Player, you go to Edit, and I have two images of him. See how he's switching back and forth, image 0 and image 1. So image 0 he's going right, image 1 he's going left. And it's flickering back and forth real quick up here. But you can control that by using code. And let me show you how I did that. So, and then origins at 0, 0 for the X and Y. So I went to create, add event, went to the create, and then I dragged over a coded sheet, and it stated that image underscore index equals 0, semicolon, image underscore speed equals 0, semicolon. So the image index is going to be at the 0 mark. The 0 mark means that he's going to be looking right, because that's what happens when you're starting the game initially. He's looking right. So it's going to be at image 0, which is going to lock him from switching to the left, and the speed is at 0, so he's not going to move at all. And then you have the image number equals 0, semicolon. And you need that image number in there because it's basically telling the image what image is going to be at when you first start the game, and it's going to be controlled by that 0 number, where it's not going to move at all. It's going to stay at the right position until you start moving left, then he'll switch. Alright, so that's the first step for that code. The second step, you have to go into the step event and add this code here, which controls it even more. So if the keyboard underscore check is V key left, parentheses, in parentheses, open bracket, image underscore index equals 1, in bracket, semicolon. So if he is going left when you press the keyboard button, then the image is going to switch from image 0, which is the right, to image 1, which is the left. So you'll be controlled by that. So when you press the left button down, the image will switch from image 0 to image 1. And image 1 is going left. See, image 0, right, image 1, left. Alright, and in the left pressed, it's going to say if image number equals 1, open bracket, image underscore index equals 1 in bracket. So it's also stating the same thing. If he is going left when he presses the left key down, then he's going to go left. The image is going to go left. It's going to switch from 0 image to 0. It's going to switch from 0 image to switching to 1 image. And the same thing with the release left, the same thing happens. If image number equals, which means and 1, open bracket, image underscore index equals 1 in bracket. So he's going to go in the left position, which is image 1. If he releases the key on the left or he presses the key left, then with the press right key, he's going to go if image number equals 0, which is the right, open bracket, index equals underscore index equals 0 in bracket. So he's going to go right. He's going to face right, and then he's going to move at 10 speed in the right position. Same thing applies with the left. But he's going to go the other direction, left, and then 10 speed. And then with the release right, same thing applies. It's going to be if image number equals 0, open bracket, and image underscore index equals 0 in bracket. So he'll be facing right. The image will be facing right, and then when he releases, the direction is going to be in the middle, and then speed is going to be 0. Same thing applies with the left. Release is going to be red in the middle or orange in the middle, which means he stopped, and speed's at 0 as well. So that takes care of the moving left and right, and the image facing. So you only need one image for this. You don't need two images. And the depth here is -5. So, and then outside room. So if the character moves outside the room here, which is outside this background wall, which is this blue background, once it moves outside that area there, it's going to move to the next room. So went to add event, went to the other button, and clicked on outside room. Then main one, grab one of the go to next room. He goes to next room. This object wall, got that from the move tab. I dragged that over from it's a gray arrow box, and this direction's at 0 and the speed's at 0. So when he hits this yellow square, or this square up here, then he's going to stop. He's not going to move any further. He's going to stop there, and then you can't move any further, but you can go right, you just can't go left. And that object wall is set to solid, but it's not visible, and that should control him so he won't get stuck on walls either. That will control him from not getting stuck. So you want to make sure when you hit the wall, you use this move gray outed box, not this one. You don't want to have this set to stop and 0, because then he'll get stuck. So you don't want to use this green one, this green arrow one. You want to use the gray one, the gray arrow one, which is going to make him speed direction 0 and speed direction 0, speed's 0. So that will control him. It'll keep him stopping. It will keep him from moving, and then he will not get stuck on walls either. But if you use the green one, he will stop, and he may get stuck. So you want to use the gray arrow one. And I wouldn't use this one. This one would do the same thing. It would probably make him get stuck on walls. It'll stop him from moving, but then he may get stuck on walls. So I would use the gray arrow one. Alright, so then now the wind. The wind is this red line here. The wind, I do not have it solid. I do not have it visible. Once the wind, the lines move outside the room, it's going to jump to start position again. So in the move tab, I dragged over a jump to start position, set it to self. So once these lines here, I got them separated. Each one has its own line that I just stacked up at an angle kind of deal. All those move at the same time. Once these lines go off screen, off the blue screen, then it's going to jump back to the original position, which is right here. This is where it started at, so that's where it'll begin again once these lines go off stage. Because that's what I've stated there. When it moves off stage, it's going to jump back to the same position again and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. It's always going to repeat until you move to the next room, because in the next room there's no wind going, and so that's why the rain is at down. It's completely straight down because there's no wind blowing. But in the room 0 and room 2, there is wind blowing, so you're going to have the rain at an angle. Alright, so once the wind line hits my character, it's going to push me at 2 speeds. So with the move, use the move green arrow and have it set to going left and at 2 speeds. So once I collide with the red line, it's going to push me back 2 speeds. But I'll be able to move through the red line of the wind because the wind is not set to solid. If you have it set to solid, you can't go through it. So you want to make sure that the wind is not set to solid. Make sure it'll push you, but you're still able to go through it because it's not set to solid. So make sure that that is not set to solid, otherwise you will not go through it. It'll keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. So you don't want that. You want to make sure that's not set to solid. Alright, and then when the wind collides with the trees, it's going to switch, and I have this set to precise, the tree. So once the line hits the tree, it's going to switch this object tree, which is static, to moving tree. Set to perform event yes. Got that, grab that information from the main 1 tab, moved it over, so it's going to change instance to the moving tree. And the moving tree is going to sway back and forth. Got a couple of animations in there, they're going, making it move back and forth. And so it's going to move at a speed, room_speed, star.4 milliseconds, alarm 0, and then after room_speed, star.4 milliseconds, alarm 0. Once that happens, it's going to change it back to the static tree, which is not going to be moving at all. So after 4 milliseconds, it's going to switch back to static tree, where it's not going to move until the wind blows it again, and then it's going to animate again. And then after 4 milliseconds, it's going to stop, not animate. And I have the tree depth set at 10, so it's behind the grass. It's behind me. And I guess I could put a crate and make this not moving at all. Do the same thing with the tree moving. That's just going to keep it in place. It's not going to be pushed off screen. By having that direction in the middle and no speed, then it's going to stay where it's going to be planted where it's at. It's going to stay where it's at. It's going to be planted in that position, so it's not going to move completely. It'll animate in that location, but it won't be pushed or move away from off screen. So keep it keep it static in that one position. See how it moves and it stays in that position. It won't be pushed like me. Alright, and then one last thing to talk about is the rain in the background. So in the rain I have two backgrounds. One set, and it's kind of hard to see this, but these rain lines are at an angle. That's background 0, and it does not animate right now. And I tiled it horizontal, tiled it vertical, and then background 1 is straight up and down. The rain lines are straight up and down, tiled horizontal, tiled vertical, so that way they'll repeat, and that's what you want. And then in the backgrounds, in room 0, go to background, then you want to make sure you select your background, which is going to be the first rain, which is the angle 1, background 0. And then you want to make sure it's tiled horizontal, it's tiled vertical, and then the speed's going to be at -5, and vertical speed's going to be at 10. So that's going to it's going to make it go. It's basically going to make it go at 10 speeds fast, and then -5 is it's going to be set to an angle. Let me see something real quick when I set that to 0, see what happens. I think, oh, I see it moves kind of weird looking. So that's why I changed it to -5 to make it look more pleasing to the eye. At -5, it looks a little more realistic there. Going that, it's kind of a little. It just the way it moves, it's like you have the image at an angle. So when you have the image moving at an angle, you got to make sure it looks like it's not awkward looking. So you want to make sure you change the angle of the speed. That's what I'm trying to get at right there. So setting it to -5 makes it look like it's going at an angle, and it doesn't look awkward coming down. And then the speed, how fast it's going to come down. And then if you want to set it to foreground image, that would move it in front. So see how the rain, we can't really see it too much, but the rain's going in front of the green grass. And if you have we don't have the foreground image checked, and it goes behind the green grass. Then in room 1, it's straight up and down, so then you go to your background image and you select background 1, and then tiled it horizontal, tiled vertical. That way it keeps on going infinity. It depends on how, I mean, if you make your room speed, make your room bigger than 640, or even the height. If you change the width and height of the room, then when you want to make sure you want to stretch it horizontal and vertical too. That way it'll look even across the screen. And even now you want to make sure it's checked as well. Do not check stretched. And then the speed's going to be at 10, but there's not going to be any horizontal speed because it's going straight down. If you change this speed, it's going to look weird looking. It's going to look awkward looking. You don't want to look awkward. So I just have the horizontal speed at 0. But with the horizontal rain, you want to make sure it's set to like -5 or -7 or something, so the image looks pleasing to the eye. Alright, and that will conclude this video. I will put the GMX file on YouTube so you can download it, and play around with it. Thanks for watching.